I was gonna say, EJ, that's what he's doing. So he's doing data analyst stuff right now for somebody, and then he also is like helping a friend do some changes with his house, like remodel his house. So he's gonna be gone for like maybe like 3 months.
Was he the guy like helped you start this out?
Yeah, yep. And actually, the lights, the camera, those are all his.
Nice.
But
So
yeah,
he's just a stand-in over here. Ridge is just
well, he's actually been number 2 since day one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was gonna say, so like he was
had a team going over here.
Oh yeah, it's a team of 3, small team, but it's a good team.
Well, that's a team of 4 actually. You got the little
Oh yeah, she's the
the
mascot.
string just sticking out of her mouth.
Yeah, she loves tearing up her toys. You have any pets?
Yeah. Amanda and I have a cat.
Oh, nice.
Bonnie.
Whose cat is it?
We both went and got her from the cat shelter
So
during
like,
the
what
pandy.
happens if it ever?
I'll probably kill her. The cat, actually. I'll pull a King Solomon and just rip it in half, and I'll take the top half.
She'll take the bottom half. Get it fucking...
But she's cute as fuck. She's got a one eye, so I named her Bonnie after Anne Bodie, the pirate.
Okay.
The female pirate.
Hell yeah.
So she's a little terrorist.
Everybody, this is Logan Steak. Welcome to another episode of Help I'm High. We're back. This is our boy,
Thanks
Logan,
for having me.
Comedian. Fucking, you do music too, don't you? I think I heard that you used to play piano. Is that true?
Well, I mean, as far as like talent and skill, drums are my thing. But I started out playing guitar, violin, and then just went on to do everything because like the last record I did everything. Did like scratch tracks of drums, and then had my producer go, and he's just much better drummer, so I had him actually play on that. But I wrote everything, play everything, and all that shit. So yeah.
So let me see if I remember correctly, because like, I talked to a bunch of different people. I hear a lot of different things, so I don't know if this story applied to you. Did you used to do like piano comedy?
Yeah. So the Short North Stage, which that's what it's called now. It used to be called Ethel's. It's the bar that's attached to the Garden Theater, right there on High Street, like next to Magnolias and shit. And they used to have comedy Friday nights that Ty Moore, Sam Sobel, and Ty Brunetti would switch hosting on Friday nights, which was tight because that's right there in the Short North. And you just have had people just walking in, and it was always a good time. But they had a piano on the stage, so I would go up and just because of the monotony of fucking stand-up, everyone's just going up doing the same thing. I was like, I'm gonna just play the piano, and so I would just dwindle my jokes down to like the basic 1 or 2 lines and just play piano in between, and just it actually worked really well. I did it on acid one time, and that was fucking wild.
Damn, because you were probably killing it.
Dude, it was working really well. It was my early days of comedy, and like in the halfway through, I was just like, I need everyone to know I'm on fucking acid right now. This is because you know how you just got it.
Yeah. You had to. I'm like that when I'm drunk. Like if I'm like white girl where I'm like, I'm so fucked up right now. Like, dude,
I love you. Yeah, that shit.
Yeah, love that. I love that shit.
But no, it was fun to play that. I wish they did that, but they just apparently were losing money by having that mic. So now it's just specifically for the Garden Theater. Yeah. So when they have shows, that bar's open, but it sucks because it's such a perfect stage. Yeah. There were some fun mics back in the day.
So let me ask you this. Yeah, we'll actually get into that because I've known you since I've started. Like I you used to be the host of Jimmy
V's.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, because this is something that I've talked about with a few comedians, because I play some instruments. I've dabbled in the piano, I play guitar, ukulele, and I recently have started bringing the ukulele on stage. And I
automatically hate that.
Yeah,
but
that's fine.
Go on.
But I've also thought about getting other things on the stage too. But my question is to you, since you are someone who's done that before, do you think you would ever go back? And if not, why? And also, do you think that if you do something like that on stage, does it make you type comedian?
Well, it depends. I mean, if you bring a guitar or a ukulele on stage, like you brought it from home, and you brought it on stage, you're now doing music comedy. which is a thing. People do it. I don't, whatever. I because I love music so much and I love comedy so much, I cannot have the two blend. Unless it's me doing it, of course. No, but like, there's something about the piano just already being on the stage.
Okay.
That you just go up and then, have you ever seen Zach Galifianakis live at the Purple Onion?
I have not seen that one.
Oh my god, it's probably my favorite stand-up special of all time.
Is it good?
Dude, have you seen it?
Yes, it's amazing.
Dude, he's playing the piano and he just like says just really like irreverent bullshit while he's just kind of playing the soothing, just kind of like lounge music.
Okay.
It really makes me think of Mitch Hedberg.
Yeah, well, it's a lot because that's the thing. It's like one-liners, but he's playing this piano and he's like kind of drunk looking and he's like sweaty. He also does a segment where he has like a huge like poster board, like notepad thing where he like turns over the pages.
I've seen
and reveals
piece
the
of
joke.
that.
But
Yeah,
my favorite joke on that was my father used to beat me with his belt, and then he'd pull over the piece of paper and it said while it was still on, and it's just such a good joke, dude. But like
that is a good joke. Holy
I don't
shit.
consider Zach Galifianakis a music comedian, even though that whole special, like 45 minutes of it, he's playing piano.
Okay.
So it depends on how you do it, I think.
Okay.
It depends. If you're the fucking asshole that's bringing your fucking acoustic guitar from home and going on stage and making people listen to how bad of a failed musician you are with your even worse jokes, I mean, you're just a music comedian at that point.
Okay, so let me ask. Okay, so this is like what I am trying to attempt. Like I'm trying to do like that as well. So I'm not like when I take it on stage, I'm still doing stand up. Like I'll have it like setting aside and I'll do stand up and then I like kind of be like, "Hey guys, I have this song as well."
So are you trying to do a funny song?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
If you're doing a funny song, there's time and place, and it belongs, I guess, at an open mic. Why not?
Yeah.
That's fine. But if you're trying to be funny while just playing music, that's a whole different thing.
Okay,
And
that's not my attempt.
Yeah, and that's more of what Zach Galifianakis did.
Yeah.
But funny music is funny. I have no attraction towards funny music.
Okay.
I have an attraction towards like ambient sound while telling jokes.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's something kind of it's weird about stand up how little music or any other noise there is other than voices.
Oh yeah. I actually that's like why I actually enjoy it so much, because it's like one of the things that I had a lot of problems with like growing up was like reading and writing. So it's like this is like a good opportunity for me to like actually practice writing and then speech, like giving speeches. So it's like it's a whole like different thing, because it's like it gives a whole like I guess even if you're not like a great comedian, if you are taking away like key points, like if you are actually learning, like going into an interview becomes easy as fuck. Like you don't have to like what I mean. It's like because
that hasn't translated for me at all.
Oh really?
My public speaking, like
Oh,
when we have
really?
like work meetings and there's like even just like 7 people and I'm like, hey, I need to say something. My face goes red.
Really?
I start stuttering. Can't do it. But meanwhile, I can fucking go up and just.
Well, let me ask
talk
you this:
shit. I don't know.
Do you think that potentially could be because like there might be something at stake? Like, oh, if I say this thing like at like a work meeting, like then be like, whoa, like
I don't know. I think, to be honest, I'm a very isolated solo person.
I got you.
Even with my job, like I don't like interacting with other people for the most part. That's why stand-up is so fun and why I left being in bands, because you rely on others. But when I'm like communicating with others and a group of people, it's like I might know one of them really well and I can talk to that person just fine one-on-one. But when there's just kind of more or less strangers around, I'm like, and I don't know what I'm going to say next. Where like in comedy, I have, my toolkit. There's things I may not necessarily know what I'm going to say next, but I know how to get to where I'm trying to be.
Yeah.
Where, I don't know, work meetings and shit, or like I took theater in college and totally memorized the fucking, to be or not to be speech, because that was extra credit. Got it fucking down. I was doing it in front of my friends. I was doing it in front of groups of my friends. I had it down. I had like a week and a half to prepare. got up in front of the class and just turned red, ate shit, got cotton mouth, and just couldn't do it. I couldn't even get to slings and arrows, dude. Like, I couldn't go. It was just so bizarre. And meanwhile, I've been playing music for 10 years, singing
That's crazy.
naked and shit. You know,
Wow.
like, it's just weird. It doesn't translate to me.
Wow.
For me, I guess.
That's crazy.
I don't know what it is. I had a speech impediment when I was a kid.
Okay. So do you think that might have like a...
I don't know. Maybe it challenged me to, or it didn't allow me to speak. You know, remember when your teacher would like make you read aloud in front of the whole class?
Yeah.
Dude, that's like, I still get PTSD from that shit.
Yeah.
Like, I can't handle that. And there's just something about that, like, just never worked. But once I started singing, playing guitar and write my own songs, my speech impediment went away.
Whoa.
So I just like kind of worked my way through it, and then I guess maybe it's just through creativity I'm allowed to get over those things. But when I'm like, I gotta say something professional, I'm like, I can't do it. I'm gonna throw a cunt or a cock in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say something horrible.
I guess
to be comfortable.
Yeah, I was gonna say the one thing that I will say from like my change of jobs recently is that like
your forced change of jobs.
Yeah.
Also, I hope it's okay to say cunt.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I was gonna say the one thing that I will say, and that's the thing that I've always told people that I love about the Funny Bone, is that like I don't like have to like watch what I'm saying. Like,
is that where you work now?
I've worked at the Funny Bone now for like 3 years.
Okay.
But I now also work at like local cantina, and it's like the same exact vibe. Like, obviously, you know, when you're talking to guests, you know, there is a professionality.
You don't call them cunts.
Yeah.
No,
but at the same time though, the guest,
the Mexican dishwasher, you can call a cunt.
But this is why serving like for stand up at least like after, because I kind of served like while doing stand up at the Funny Bone, but by the time I was actually just doing stand up, I was like pickup only, so I would only pick up whatever. But now that I'm like serving like day to day now, and it's not at a comedy club, so it's not people expecting someone funnier than me, you know what I mean? So it's like these people are coming, they're slinging back drinks, they might have a few tacos.
They don't even want to deal with you at all. They're just like, serve us our fucking fried food, dude, and we're watching a show.
It's the complete opposite.
Really?
At the local, at Funny Bone, it's
yeah, I got you.
At
local cantina, it's like, serve us, be our servant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, and then, you know, they open it up like crowd work almost. So then you're just doing crowd work on your guests, and then it opens up, and then you find out, like, you know, and because they're getting drunk, you know, they love comedy. So it's like when they find out you're a comedian, then they're like, oh my God, like,
you tell people that you do comedy?
Huh?
I can't. I don't.
You don't do that?
I mean,
I'm pushing a show right now. So
I get it, but like, dude, the worst thing is when you tell someone you do stand up and they're like, they get so excited and they're like, oh my God, like,
tell me a joke.
It's just so hard. I can never imagine doing that. But it's like, I get it. They're innocent.
I will say this:
they're normies and shit.
It's actually not even like that, even, because it's like most of these people are like, I mean, there are people my age, but like a lot of them are like wealthier middle-aged people, so they're like,
they're the tell me a joke type of crowd, because that's the worst.
They're not really. They're more like, oh, we love stand-up comedy, where could we see something like that? And I'm like, oh dude, I'm like, I have a show at the Funny Bone coming up, and they're like, oh really? And I was like, yeah dude. And so
that makes you seem legit as fuck too.
I know,
but
exactly.
Like, you know, the Funny Bone's the
and
only
it's not,
goddamn club.
And it's not even like an open mic one too. It's like a show. So I'm like excited as fuck right now. And so, and everybody, when they hear the Funny Bone, they're like, oh my God, like an actual, like you just said, a comedy club.
Are you opening for somebody there?
So it's with Jakey and Reno and like the Midwest Comedy Tour.
Okay.
Becky and Austin.
So Becky and Austin
and Jake. Yep.
Jake. Okay. Gotcha.
So
that's at Funny Bone. Nice.
Yeah. June 30th.
They've been doing a lot of those shows.
Yeah, I was gonna say I worked.
I love that they call it a tour, and it's like all you do is go to a different Ohio city that like you live here.
Midwest,
it's not that weird.
Midwest comedy tour.
It's not a tour. You're not getting in a fucking van and like eating Taco Bell at midnight.
Yeah.
Like that's a tour, dude.
Yeah.
Like these people don't even know what the fuck a tour is.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, I am eventually gonna, you know, branch out. I'm just like, I'm so new, and I'm like, I am realizing that, you know, some of like when I first started, like the angle that I took at stand up was just like completely wrong. It was just like Chris Johnson was saying like something to the effect after he saw me one night do stand up at the Shrunken Head recently. He was like, dude, if I like had a video of when I first saw you do stand up compared to like that, like, dude,
What were you doing wrong, do you think?
what he said, his perception was that he thought I was trying to do what I thought comedians were doing.
Everybody does that.
Yeah.
Everybody starts that way.
Yeah. And so like and my problem was I did start working at the Funny Bone first. So you see all these people,
Oh,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? You see all these people who are coming to see Godfrey. You're
And
coming
let's be honest, there's some fucking hacks that go through that place
Yeah,
too. And like,
exactly.
so you're getting like the Chris Cattans of the
Yeah.
world too, and you're like,
Uh-huh.
oh Jesus,
Exactly.
These people are comedic actors. They're not, and like,
Exactly.
yeah.
And so it's like a
And
lot
they're
of,
doing exactly what you're doing when you start out, is
Yeah.
trying to mimic being a stand-up. Like being a stand-up is,
so hard.
you have to be
It's so
the
hard.
110% authentic, otherwise it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And when you're starting, you're everything but authentic. So it's
Exactly.
just the hardest shit to like get comfortable, find your voice. I mean, I'm still writing jokes that I'm like, I think this is hilarious, but for some reason it's not working. And I'm just realizing, oh, it's because one, I'm not good enough to make it funny, like to pull it out of my brain and translate it to the audience. And then two, what I find funny is not necessarily what an audience finds funny.
Yeah.
And so you gotta just
So what do you
keep fucking going, I
what's
guess.
what's your advice? Like do you do like a combo? Like are you telling jokes that you want to tell?
I don't tell any jokes I don't want to tell.
Okay. That makes
My
sense.
number one rule for myself
Okay.
and what I tell new comics is have fun. If you're not having fun, no one else is going to have fun, and therefore you're just wasting everybody's time. And for me, the way to have fun is to say shit I want to say. And I smile and smirk while I'm saying it because I literally makes me happy.
That makes me feel so much better that you're saying that, because I feel like I've been just battling. I mean, don't get me wrong. I sometimes go pretty far sometimes, but that's like what I struggle with the fucking most. It's just like having to like watch what I say. I'm like, God damn it, dude. Like I can't just be authentic with you and just like talk and everything. It's like, that's why I love Chris. Chris Johnson is my favorite fucking, like, no, like, knock on you or anything, but like, he's my favorite comedian. He's not maybe my
I didn't think
Yeah,
that I
yeah,
was your favorite
yeah.
comedian.
Hey, who knew? Who knows? But like, he's my favorite person because it's like, no matter like what the conversation is, like no matter who's in the conversation, even if someone says something that's a little like, off tone or something like that, he knows you. He knows like your intentions. So he's like, we're just having a conversation. It's not, there's, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And we're like trying to be funny. We're not
I
like,
feel like if you're watching what you say on stage,
Uh-huh.
then you might be fucking racist. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like if
Not-
you're
well, not
or
like-
bigoted
yeah,
or
yeah.
hateful
It's
in
not
some
like that.
way.
It's
Like
just that
if you
I'll write a
have to
joke.
watch
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you say, then
Yeah.
you're probably doing something
Yeah.
wrong, and you should check yourself.
yeah.
With that said, if I go on stage, like, dude, I'm not gonna lie, I've said every possible word that you're not
Yeah.
allowed to say on stage, and I do it as a challenge, and then I regret it immediately. Even though I do it until I get a laugh, and then I immediately regret that I challenged myself to do
Dude.
it. But with that said, just don't
Yeah.
be a hateful person.
Well,
just
yeah.
be fun. If you're funny,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. You can say whatever the
Yeah.
fuck. But if you go out and pull a Michael Richards and just call someone the N-word because they're,
No one- yeah,
heckling
that's
you.
not my intention.
Yeah, well, I've seen you do it before, but I'm
I'm doing it tomorrow. You guys can
You're
find
doing it
me.
right now. I'm
Yes.
kidding. I don't know if you know this, but Ridge is in blackface, so
That's
but-
why we have him behind the computer so no one can
I
see
mean,
him.
Those
all I can
mandatory
see is
to work here.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I think if you say what you, by say what you mean, I don't mean be accurate, but say what you mean. Like be honest, be authentic, make the joke. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I have offended so many people, and at the end of the day, I'm still being booked, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
You know, and like as long as you're not, trust me, there are some hateful bigots in comedy. Like we know who they are.
Yeah, I was gonna say I guess I missed one. They said that some dude from like out of town like came into the Shrunken Head and was trying to like preach like white supremacy.
Oh, dude, I always step outside for that shit.
Ian said that, or he didn't even get on stage yet. He wasn't even on stage yet. He was outside and he was like probing, I guess.
God.
And then Ian like walked him out.
Join Hitler Youth. I mean, as far as Columbus comedy, I think it's pretty easy for those people to be weeded out. They usually pop in, they do like 2 or 3 weeks, and then they never show up again. Other than Ty Moore, you know, the biggest racist in Columbus comedy. I will put that on the record
Like
right
literally
now.
the biggest.
He's fat. He's a fat piece
fattest.
of shit. He's a fat racist fuck.
Love you, Ty. Oh shit, dude. All right, and we're back. Dude, fucking Ridge had to go to work, unfortunately, but we're back. We're back at it. We were doing some talking off camera. I learned that Logan's parents are used to be politicians.
Yeah, my mother ran for school board many times, and she won like ward elections.
Okay.
And then my dad ran for city council, won for 2 terms, and then ran for mayor. And,
oh shit!
Yeah, of Reynoldsburg, Ohio, the wonderful
Dang.
Reynoldsburg, Ohio.
Dang. So you said you fucking hate the government.
This is my personal philosophy.
Let's do it.
When it comes to politics, I believe in anarchy.
Okay.
But anarchy only works with the individual. So I need, as a personal anarchist, I need to live within a governed society. Without rules, there's none to break. And so I break the law every fucking day of my life. You know, we both smoke weed all the time, right?
Yeah.
It's like we're breaking the law every day.
Yep.
So at that point, then fuck it. And when it comes to street signs and, you know, street lights and all that shit, good. It makes society function a little bit better.
Yeah.
Am I going to pull a U-turn every now and then? Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Like, who gives a shit? Like, and yeah, I'll get cited, not a big deal. Now, am I, like, do I believe in murder or stealing or anything? No, I have, there's things called morality and ethics, you know? Like, you don't need to, you know, just throw all laws out just to be an anarchist, you know what I mean? But with having 2 conservative parents, politician parents growing up, my dad's from Boston, Worcester actually, and my mom's from New Orleans. Very different types of Republicans.
That's how does that fucking come up?
Dude, it's they met in Florida or some shit. It's a whole thing. But it's funny because they're 2 very different types of Republicans, you know.
Okay.
But
what kind of Republican would you say like your mom is, and then like versus like what your dad?
Man, that's a weird question. I guess my mom, okay, being Southern, she's super family oriented.
Okay.
She's about community.
Okay.
She's about, you know, people helping each other out, and by doing so, you need less government. That type of Republican. Where my dad is, you know, waspy, fucking, you know, New England shit, which is more like keep government out of my business, you know, and keep like I want to pay less in taxes and fuck welfare. And I mean, he doesn't say fuck welfare, but that more so than universal basic income or some shit like that.
Okay. So you said you went to college. Where did you go, and did you graduate?
This is a sad story.
Oh no.
So I graduated high school when I was 17. Moved out a month before I graduated. Just had to fucking leave home, and didn't go to college or school. I just worked 2 jobs and sold mushrooms for about 3 years, and you know, breaking the law. But selling mushrooms is the best money I've ever made in my life. But
damn.
did that, and then just got bored and decided I should go back to school. And I just had the money, so I just went to Columbus State and just started taking. I started off. I went for poetry. I was gonna just try to become a fucking professor, I guess, of literature of some sort, maybe poetry. I don't know. Took all the poetry classes I could have taken. Became good friends with my professors and like would drink with them after class and shit and talk about. We'd workshop poems like on our free time. Got bored, still liked school, so then I switched over to philosophy. Took every philosophy class, and then at that point I was gonna transfer to OSU and become a philosophy teacher. Because that's like all you can really do with that degree.
Yeah.
But I love philosophy. I've been reading philosophy my whole life.
Okay.
So.
Who are the few philosophers that you say that you like the most?
The number one is Kierkegaard.
Okay.
Are you familiar?
I've heard the name, but I'm not. If you say one of his ideas, I probably would.
He is the one that he's known as the father of existentialism.
Okay.
Even though he never used that word. When it came about through Nietzsche and Freud and you know later on Sartre and Camus, they all like it comes from the idea of the leap of faith. You know, in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, did you ever fucking play that? And you know how the leap of faith was a gap that you could do.
Yeah,
and it's a real spot that skateboarders and BMX and rollerbladers would go to.
Okay,
it's called the leap of faith. Jamie Thomas is like the one dude that like famously like ate so much dick trying to do it and then finally landed it.
Fuck. Okay.
It's alling over a handrail, but it's like 2 flights of stairs and it's just a straight drop. And this is back in like the 20-aughts. So
I think I just saw a video of someone trying to do that.
It's at a school, I think, so it's still around. Like it's in fucking California somewhere.
Okay.
But the leap of faith is Kierkegaard's concept, which is, you know, you believe God does not just exist and therefore you have to believe in him. You have to choose to believe in God, and by doing so you're choosing how to live your life. And that's what existentialism really is. It's making a choice. It's saying, hey, maybe there's no meaning to life, so I'm going to give it one, and I'm going to give it whatever I want it to be.
Okay.
And so it's a very individualistic it's anti-nihilism in a lot of ways.
Let me ask you this. Are religious people that?
I think most religious people
are not.
I think most religious people, for one, are we talking about like secular religious people? Because like Jews are just they just like they just follow traditions and the holidays and eat the food and that sort of thing. There's a lot of Catholics that are like that too. But if you're actually faithful, I think it's a belief in God. And that belief in God comes from the fact that God exists, which is different from what Kierkegaard's saying. He's saying whether or not God exists, choose to believe he does, and therefore you will give meaning to your life.
Oh, shit.
And for him, it was God. For, Nietzsche, it was being like the Ubermensch, the Superman, the best person you could be. For Camus, it was, and Sartre, in a lot of ways, it was basically, we've all seen the horrible tragedy of World War II and the Holocaust of Jews, so if life is so fucking horrible, we need to put more beauty in it, and that's the choice that we have to make. And whether or not it means anything, whether or not we go to heaven at the end, doesn't matter. It's about here and now. That's existentialism.
Whoa.
And Kierkegaard was the first one to ever really say that. Everyone else believed in God or believed in gods, or didn't believe in God and believed in Satan, or didn't believe in anything, and nihilism. Kierkegaard was the first one to say whether or not anything's real or not, heaven, hell, any of souls, what is real is the fact that you get to make choices in life.
Okay.
And you should make the best choices, whatever that is for you.
That's super interesting, because that's super interesting because literally the one thing that I feel like that I've been battling with is not necessarily because not necessarily believing, and this is why it's weird to even say it. It's almost kind of taking up a religion, because I'm at a point where it's I don't have mentors in my life to give me structure. And so it's like there's tons of books out there that give structure to billions of people, and it's like it's been working for, you know, thousands of years for a lot of these people. So it's like, why not do that? And it's like not necessarily per se to like believe in some spiritual, like, you know, spirit leaving my body and like going into like a castle with a bearded guy or anything, but it's like more or less of like a
Just get on your knees and have to do God's bidding on
Yeah.
his balls.
yeah.
No, I think for a lot of people, they just don't think about this shit.
Yeah.
They just don't care. Either
Yeah.
they grew up religious, and so it's just there, and
Yeah.
it's always there, and it's not even an issue.
Yeah.
Or they grew up just not caring. It's not like, you know, their parents didn't care, so it wasn't in them. And I think for a lot of people, it's easy to live like that.
Yeah.
But for the select few amongst us, we're challenged by the pure fact of existence.
Yeah.
And what to do with
Mental
all
illnesses
of it.
and all that bullshit, dude.
I mean, anxiety, right? If you can look at anxiety as an evolutionary factor, like something that was developed to help us protect ourselves from, you know, certain dangers in prior historical times. Or you can look at anxiety as Satan talking to you and trying to bring you down. Or you can look at anxiety as, oh, fuck, I just have to get off. You know, like,
Yeah.
I have to work out. Or, you know, it's like when you're pent up and haven't had sex in a while, you just got to tug one out. Anxiety can be like that. But it's like, it's all these different, however whatever filter you see that through.
Yeah.
Certain people have it easier, and they just say, oh, it's God, or oh, it's not,
Yeah.
you know, or it's just science, or that.
Yeah.
For me, I believe in both God and non-existence of God. I believe in souls and just pure biology. I believe that energy cannot be created nor destroyed. However, there's such thing as dark matter.
Yeah.
I believe in everything.
Yeah,
you
dude.
know what I mean? I'm a polytheist, if anything. I
Yeah.
believe that there's a microphone God, there's an Eddie God, there's a camera God, there's a God for fucking everything.
Oh, okay.
I think that's the easiest way to explain it. But
Okay.
you know, you say that to people and they think you're fucking crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's why I kind of like stray away from like telling people that I'm like, I kind of want to like start believing in God or something like that, because it's like, even saying that in itself, it's like, in order to, like you were saying, it's like to truly actually believe, like, you know, there's like homework almost, essentially. It's like you have to do the work.
And at that point, are you even believing, or are you just trying to believe? Like, belief is, this is another thing that Kierkegaard would talk about. It's like, belief is not something it's not a skill.
Yeah.
It's not a talent. It's a feeling. It's an attraction, right? Belief, and I mean, I could be wrong about this,
Yeah.
but you know, if you, aside from the study of epistemology and what the knowledge of belief is something instinctual.
Okay.
Right? It's innate. It's something that's part of the visceral humanness of our nature. And that's not something that you're going to... you might read the Bible 3,000 times, and on the 298th be like, oh, shit, now I believe. That might happen.
Well, okay, so...
But it's not guaranteed.
Let's raise the bar here a little bit, because it's like one of those things where it's like, throughout my life, I'm always like, there's like no way that, like, you know what I mean, where there's like feeling like you were
like
saying,
a pure atheist.
no, just like, or no, not saying no way that there's a God. There's no way that there's not a God. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's just like things in my life where it's almost like someone's watching out for me, even though it might be from my own, like, you know, volitions. Like, oh, I did this thing, so it saved me from this thing. But it's like, you know, in my mind,
be serendipity, or it could be God. And
exactly.
Regardless, you thought it was God.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
So it's like, so that's like that feeling I think you're talking about. This like thing that like you can't really describe, and it's like, is that God? Like, do I want to say it's God, or am I just, you know, more lucky than most people? You know what I mean? It's like, who knows?
I was raised Catholic.
Okay.
I'm a confirmed Catholic.
Nice.
But I remember the exact day I stopped believing in the Catholic God.
Okay.
Do you remember Eastland Mall?
Okay.
Eastland Mall, back in the day, was a poppin' fucking mall. Now it's
a poppin',
it's
different
got-
type of
yes,
poppin'.
It's popping and capping at this point. It's a fucking shoot 'em up bar. But Eastland Mall used to be like the dope spot, and they had this wishing well that every time I'd go there with my mom and brother, I would wish for something. And one year it was we were Christmas shopping, and I didn't tell anybody that I wanted a bike, but I wished for a bike for Christmas that year, and I got a bike. And that's the minute I stopped believing in God, because if it's that real, I can't believe it. You know what I mean? It's so fantastic,
dude,
that there's no way it actually exists.
That's
You know
the
what I mean?
feeling. That's the feeling.
So I was just like, this is too on the nose that there's no fucking way. Because how many times did I ask for God to not fucking hit my dad to hit my brother? How many times I asked God to not have this horrible divorce happen between my mother? Like. He never answered on that shit, but he gave me a fucking bike. Even if he is real, and he did give me the bike, fuck him. That's not the most important thing in my life, dude. So I remember that day, I was just like, fuck no,
That's
God.
interesting, because I would say that even though I sometimes talk as if I am like, I like to play around with nihilism, like the idea of like being
It's dangerous.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm not saying that like that's my belief, because I would say that I fall more towards the other half, where it's like, but what I was gonna say is that, where I was going with this was that like those small little coincidences, like you getting that bike, for example, like when I look at those moments, even though it wasn't the most important thing in my life, or your life at that moment, maybe for the grand scheme of things, but maybe in that moment that was the thing you needed. You know what I mean? Maybe that bike was the thing that was.
No, I needed my father to stop cheating on my mother. That's what I needed. I needed him.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, I got
not
you.
to throw my dad under the bus here, but like. But like, dude,
Republicans.
Like, I mean, dude, there was that was like one of the saddest years of my life, man. And I mean, maybe the bike made me happy, but fuck that.
Yeah.
If there's I would much rather have him solve the fucking starving people around the globe. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need a bike, dude. If you're God and you're giving some stupid ass like little tiny fucking white kid a bike for his 4th birthday, like, or Christmas or whatever the fuck, like, just. What are you doing? Why are you picking and choosing like that, dude? Like, that's a petty ass God. And even if that God exists, I refuse to get on my knees and fucking suck the dick of this God. That's the other thing that's always bothered me about Catholicism is the fucking getting on the knees thing. It's like, I don't do that for anybody except my girlfriend. She's got a big dick. No, I'm kidding.
So, really quick though, because I guess this is a very interesting, like, this is opening in a different way that I thought it was going to, because I didn't know that you were so into like philosophy and shit. But so, do you think, or my question is if you kind of believe in this, like, whatever this might be, or if you, whatever your belief is, do you think that there is like a magical aspect to it?
Magic is, and always will exist.
Okay.
I am 100% in belief of magic.
So if magic exists, wouldn't that be an extension of this greater thing?
No, I think it's all the same thing.
Okay.
I don't think there's any differentiation between heaven and hell and earth. I think all of it's part of the same. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. I think that is actually the most religious statement of all time. I think that means everything is everything.
Yeah.
We are a pig's colon, the same way that a pig's colon is stardust. Like, everything is everything. And because of that, of course magic exists. Now, can people like shoot fucking like flaming arrows out of their palms or whatever? Like, maybe. I mean, I haven't seen it yet, but like that sounds cool, and I'd be down. I don't think that actually exists as of now, but do magical things happen all the time? I mean, what is the Big Bang if not magical?
Yeah.
What is the accumulation of one type of being to create language? That's magical, right? The ability to connect with one another through external factors. That is mad. I mean, that's telepathy at a very archaic, sort of standpoint.
Yeah.
So everything is magic.
Okay.
People that say magic doesn't exist they're just Alex Jones types that.
Yeah.
Well, I bet Alex Jones actually
He probably
likes
believes in
magic.
magic. He probably believes in magic.
But, like, I'm saying they're like rigid fucking Debbie Downers, dude,
Yeah.
and like I don't believe in that.
I was gonna say, I would say that I got to your point that you were just getting, like almost from like a backwards perspective though, where it was like I've always looked at technology as like the convenience of things that we can already do. You know what I mean? Because that's what it is. It's like the phone is just a convenience of me talking to you 1,000 miles away. So it's like if that thing exists in the plane of technology, why could that thing not exist in like just like, who says that there's not someone out there that can like actually fucking
Maybe
be
it's
like
the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, maybe technology is just an archaic just version of what we can already do, but we just haven't tapped into it yet. I mean, you want to talk about magic? Rasputin. Like, do you know anything about Rasputin, dude? That's talk about like I mean, I know he was.
It's like
obviously
Jesus
one of the worst people to ever walk the planet.
Yeah.
But very fascinating, and was able to pull off some fucking magic that like. And who's to say what Houdini did wasn't I mean, we still watch magicians today.
Well, and I think the most important thing with the whole like magic aspect is that, like you were saying, it's like getting a lot of people to maybe they don't maybe they do believe, but let's just like whatever. Maybe they don't believe, but if everyone's like sitting around and watching you and like giving you that platform. And like, that's your intent. It's like, what's the difference? Like, if they believe that it's happening and they're like sitting there watching you or giving you that time, it's like, how different is that from whatever? Like Jesus was like one of the most magical people out there, but like really, when you like really boil it down to like if he did this or did that, like a lot of people liked him. You know what I mean? So it's like a lot of people liked Rasputin too. He was like a charmer, I think, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, he would just like go into
many mystery. He was like sleeping with like kings' wives and shit. Like he was all over the place.
Yeah.
But here's a beautiful little connection to comedy right here. What do you have any jokes that you're setting up a premise and it's completely fictional? And you're just, you just have to convince people of this one tiny fact to make the punchline make sense and get that laugh. That's honestly comedy 101. You take people and you convince them of something that they hadn't already been convinced of. Okay. And that's how you get the laugh. That's how a real laugh happens, is when someone goes, oh shit, I never thought of that. And that's exactly what all of this is. I mean, and if you've never experienced magic at a comedy show, you've been seeing some shitty ass comics.
Dang. Yeah, wow.
You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, I just think
it's like, what's
more magical than getting a group of people to all laugh and sync?
Dude.
That is magic to me.
I will say that, like, because I finally did the Funny Bone open mic that they did, and I will say that, like, it was like, that was like me being like, all right, I'm going to test out these jokes, see if I'm actually doing work. Is it actually going to work?
Did you do the workshop before, or just...
Yeah.
Okay, is that what you're talking about?
Well, I'm talking about just going on stage and, like, doing it in front of 300 fucking people.
Right.
And it was like, when you got...
Almost anything works at that point.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say I kind of started sliding down a little bit, but I think I also was like getting nervous. I like could tell.
Yeah,
like,
that's on you. That's not on. Yeah, because almost anybody can get a group of 300 people to laugh if they're confident and able to sustain performing and that shit. But yeah,
when that happened, it was just like, oh my god, like these people all laughed at that joke. That's like fucking insane. And yeah, they came to like actually laugh, but that's why working at local cantina, that's why, you know, even when like the money's like not that great, it's like it's such a good place, because it's like when you're at a table of 15 people and everyone starts laughing at something that you said, and maybe you weren't even trying to be funny, you know what I mean? Maybe you're just saying something and they all start laughing and you're like, oh shit, that
You
was
just
like
fart and knock over a beer bottle.
yeah, exactly. And then you're just like, oh, that makes me feel a certain way inside.
And it's like, oh shit, I guess I'm one of these. I guess I'm Jerry from Parks and Rec now.
Yeah, dude. But like, because there will be times where I'll be like saying something to another server, and then there'll be people at the bar who will just start cracking up because they're like listening to our conversation, and it's just like, I'm like, yeah, you're digging it. Yes, it just feels so good.
One thing I wanted to bring up earlier before the break, music and comedy, and like how there's like a lack of it. Funny Bone used to have, you know, a talent contest.
Oh.
Like best comedian in the city. If you first place, I believe you were able to like feature for somebody for like a week.
Oh,
and
shit.
you get like a cash prize, and second place, and then so on and so forth. Like you at least, even third place would get like an opening spot or something at Funny Bone, which back then it was like impossible. Even if you worked there, it was like impossible to get on stage there. But I was 6 months into comedy. I do the contest. I'm fucking 12th. I'm the last one in the lineup.
Oh shit.
I used to open my sets by going up on stage and setting my phone down and playing the Frasier theme song, the closing theme song, and just sit there for like an hour or a minute and a half and just let it play out, and then just be like, this is if I were a WWE wrestler, this is how I'd want to come out on stage. It was the worst opening bit. Dude, I was really bad when I started. When I started, I didn't even write anything down.
Yeah, I'm like still like, I mean, I'm writing jokes down now, but like I'm still like trying to get there.
Dude, I was.
How far are you
I would be
in?
like 3 sheets into the wind. What's up?
How far are you in?
Pandemic included.
Yeah.
I think I started in 2017.
Okay, so you're like
5 years.
Okay,
5
sweet.
years, I think. Could be wrong.
Okay.
But I think around there, it's kind of, you know, like I drank so heavily the first 6 months. It wasn't until, and I fucking say this every time, Olivia Barnes, are you familiar with her? One time I was following her at what was then Barrel, now Fours. I was following her. It's piggyback, so she has to bring me up on stage, and she says, "Give it up for your next comic, Logan." Who? No, I brought her up.
Okay.
And so she got on after me. I was like, you know, give it up for Olivia Barnes. And then she gets up and she goes, give it up for the comic with no jokes, everybody. And I was like 6 months into comedy and I was wasted. And I heard that and I was like, I need to change my game up. I got to fucking take this seriously. I got to start writing.
There's always that one moment.
Dude. And I praise her to this day. Every time I see her, I'm just like, thank you for giving me that thank you for shaming me into fucking doing better work. Because since that day, I've gotten exponentially fucking bad. I was down a deep, dark path of doing really bad comedy probably for the rest of my life. And
wow,
that sucks to think about.
Mine was just like stupid. It was just like, I was trying to tell I need to go back and like listen to them, because luckily the one thing that I did do was I listened to the advice that someone gave me. They said record all your sets. Even if you don't listen to them, just record them. And I was like, all right, cool. And so I've recorded a lot of my sets from the very beginning. So it's like, but I tried to tell a joke about like shredded cheese and like how like I had shredded cheese on me from like eating it from like last night or something like that. And I was like, what am I doing right now? Like, it wasn't funny. There was like no punchline. And I was like, Jesus Christ, what is happening right now?
You really shredded that bit.
Yeah.
No, dude. That's the thing, though. When you write it down, what my process is and it's an open mic. So I'll just show up a little early. If the TV's on, I'll watch the TV. And I'll see, is it a game? If there's a game on, then there's probably commercials. I'll watch the commercials. I'll see if there's anything that I'm like, this is ridiculous, this is funny, blah, 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 blah. Otherwise, I get on Google News headlines and just scroll through, look for crazy ass fucking things in the news. Write down what I think is weird and confusing or funny, and then just get on. I'll just write that very bit down. Like, for instance, you hear about the woman that like broke out an inmate in Indiana. She worked for the sheriff's department and like broke out an inmate, and they ran away together. They both have the same last name. They're not related. And then it ended up, I think he shot himself, and then she like got injured in a car accident like while they were running from the cops. Either way, to me the funny part is, if they got married, they wouldn't have to change their names. You know, like they have the same last name anyway. But also, but so I just write down, sheriff's officer worker breaks out inmate. What's up with their marriage? You know, like I'll just write that, and then I'll go on stage with the idea, and just fucking talk and just flesh it out. And 99% of the time, it doesn't work. But that 1% will turn into my next 3-minute bit.
Okay.
For instance, I have a bit right now where I read, and I don't know if you're aware of this, I read a lot of news. The amount of people that have died from traffic accidents has actually taken the back seat to the amount of people who have died from overdoses for the first time ever in American history. So more people are dying of overdoses of things like fentanyl and heroin, my brother included, than people are dying in fucking traffic accidents, which was the #1 cause of death in America for like the past
forever.
Since cars were around.
Yeah.
And my joke is, I just had that statistic in my head. I went on stage and I said that part, and I was just like, so I think we need to revoke the drunk driving laws. It is just a weird. I don't want to give the bit away, but like it's a whole. I have 5 minutes on
just that
how we should bring drunk driving back. You know, like because at least you die not alone. You know, even if you hit another person, you're killing another person. You're not dying alone. Like it's. There's all kinds of angles on it, but like it's not as sad. I mean, it's sad the amount of people. But anyway, the point is, I went on stage with that statistic in my head, and then I just fucking it started rolling and rolling. Now it's a whole fucking. It's almost half my set at this point.
That's nuts.
And I just did that like 3 weeks ago, and that's how like that shit can. I fail and I fail and I fail and I fail, and then I finally hook something.
That's kind of how I feel. Like something that Alex Timms was telling me that I like noticed about my comedy is that like for me, like I always will like start off with a joke, and then I'll do the joke, and then I'm not either vibing with it. Like I thought it was funny at first, but now I'm like not vibing with it, and then I like set on it. Like then I like stop doing it, or I stop looking at it, and then I'll come back to it in like a week or two, or like maybe like a month. And then I'm like, okay, this is now I like know what I'm doing now. It's like I have to like think about it.
And that can work in reverse too, where you're like, oh man, this bit fucking murdered the first time I brought it up last night.
Yeah.
You look at it the next night and you're like, this is garbage. This is horrible. I can't ever say this out loud again. But comedy is a strange. So coming from like poetry, I've written in music, I wrote all my own lyrics for fucking multiple bands. I've written so much that like writing is the easy part to me.
Okay.
The writing something good is the hard part. But you talk to any writer. You look at fucking Stephen King's On Writing, his book On Writing, he talks about just like all it is to get better at writing, you just write. That's all it is. Or Steven Pinker's like The War of Art, you keep writing and eventually it'll happen if you believe in it. You know, he calls it the muse, and it's a whole other thing. But like as an artist, as someone that's created my entire life, I can tell you the only way to get there is by doing it. There's no, oh, you know, like when you tell someone you work with that you do comedy and they're like, oh, I have this funny idea.
Dude, oh
and
my
you're
God.
like, shit, this is not well thought out.
Dude,
you know?
well, yeah, well, that's, I actually had a friend that I used to work with who used to, like, or he, like, wants to kind of get into comedy, and so he'll come up to me with all of these, like, bit ideas, and they're not, like what you're saying, they're, like, not entirely, like, fleshed out, and I'm like, dude, you just have to try it on stage. Like, that's the only way.
Answer. This is the only way to do it.
Because you're not going to know if it works or not. Because even if you write something down and you think it's funny, like you said earlier, it might not be funny to other people. Dude. And it's like, and then all at the same time, maybe there's something that you can say that's funny to everybody. You're like, I don't really, think it's that funny. But like everybody else, for some odd reason, is loving it. So it's like the only way you find out is just stage time.
Well, and when I went, granted it was just community college, but when I started out doing poetry, 90% of our class was workshopping. It's showing other people your shit. So they'd be like, oh, no, this sucks. I mean, they wouldn't say it that harshly. You have to be like somewhat formal in the way you criticize. But it's really just like just weeding out like, hey, is this whole premise just lost? Is this shit suck anyway? Or hey, maybe there's something here, and there's certain ways in terms of phrases that you can use and wording. And once you get to that point, then it's up to you as a professional and or upcoming, professional to put your fucking spin on it. But if you just go on stage and be like, Ukraine, huh? Like, you got nothing. That's not a thing, Like, and I'm guilty of doing that sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I'm just hoping something fucking
pops
hits
up.
my brain, but maybe that green tea shot finally started working. But,
Dude, I was gonna say, it's actually funny that you said that because it's like I was just now thinking back. My dad used to date this girl when I was a kid, abusive, all that bullshit. But like one of the things, like that she used to like try to force us to do was keep a journal. And now I'm wondering, like, man, if I would have actually started just doing that, how much better at writing would I be right now? Like,
so how old are you?
26.
Okay, so you're even post Zanga world. When I was growing up, back in the old days, Live Journal was really big when I was in junior high and high school. Live Journal. You know what Zanga is or Live Journal? These were blogs. Like the original like online diaries.
Oh.
It was you'd have your page and for most in my emo centric point of the world, it was mostly just like sad poetry, lyrics of a song that you liked, or just like today, my girlfriend broke up with me, and shit like that. It was pretty bad. But I had a live journal, and I would just write every day, sometimes 3 times a day. I would just have a blog of going on about like an idea about something or this or that. I've always been a writer. When I moved out at my parents' house when I was 17, before I even graduated, I set up a section in the basement of the house I moved into where it was no internet. There was one light, a candle, and my typewriter, and that's all I had. And I typed just all I did is type poetry, just type poetry. I typed couple short stories. Like that's what I've always been a writer. And it's the hardest thing to this day that I've ever done in my life. It sucks, dude. Writing is the most miserable thing. And that's why I feel like it's so necessary. It's like exercise. Like no one wants to do it, but you have to.
You do. I was gonna say, dude, because I think about it all the time. Because I talk all the fucking time. Like I like have conversations with people, and like I go on like these long ideas that I have, and it's like, man, like how much would I actually either not like even just like figure out, but like how much would I actually just like think I'm either an idiot or like kind of gather my thoughts more if I just like wrote it all down.
You'd be a better speaker if you wrote more.
Yeah.
It
sure.
all correlates with one another. It's all very, universal in that way. And for instance, I don't say or like very often. If I do, I'm usually wasted or excited is another one. But I pause instead because I know when I write, there's no likes or uhs or ums. You never put that unless you're writing a stupid tweet like this or like that, you know. But otherwise. And I hear other people talk all the time, and they have all kinds of uhs, and especially in comedy. And there's nothing worse than being on stage and you say in the middle of a joke.
That's a good point.
It's fucking horrible. And I see almost everybody do it. Guilty here as well. It's nearly impossible to get rid of in the way that we were raised. But with that said, to eliminate it, and to speak better and more clearly and take pauses instead of saying like or just take a moment and take a breath and just say what you mean. Those things are important, and that comes from writing, because when you write your ideas, when you write the things you say, you sound like a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
So you have to clarify. And then it all comes back.
Yeah, as I say, I don't know what your, personal thoughts on like someone like Jordan Peterson.
Gay marriage? Oh, sorry.
but that's like something that's actually exactly what you just said. He said that like the only way to become more intelligent is to write down your thoughts.
Because it's see how fucking stupid they are?
Yeah. Because
is that actually something he said?
Yeah. Well, not like what you just said.
I only know him from Joe Rogan and Sam Harris.
Yeah. But he talks about the importance of writing all the time, and he says that like the only way to become a smarter person and to raise your intellect is to write. Because like then when you read what you write, you then try to make the connections that you're making in your head, and you're like, oh shit, I'm like you just said, I'm a fucking idiot. Like, you know what I mean? And then you see where you're going wrong, and then you're like, this is what I need to be saying, or this is what I need to write down and say, or whatever.
I wonder if like writing, because I do write with a pen and paper.
Oh, okay.
When I wrote poetry, I would use a typewriter or my computer. With comedy, I have tiny notepads, and I write with a pen and paper. I wonder if one's better or worse, or if it even fucking matters.
See, well, this is what I was actually just thinking about, because I was like, man, if I like never write stuff down, but like, I talk to myself all the time. So it's like, if I just like transcribed everything I said, would that give me the same benefit as actually just writing my stuff down? So if I have like a joke thing in my head and I just like say it, and then I just like look at it.
I know for me, just personally, anecdotally, if I type out a joke in my phone with my one thumb, or two if I'm able to do so, I never remember that joke.
Okay.
If I write it down with a pen in my notepad, I 90 or 50% of the time remember the joke. So it's like,
that's interesting though, because it's like
the actual labor of doing it makes you think about it. But that's been proven. That's actually like a real thing.
Yeah.
But tell me again how much I like Jordan Peterson.
I
wanted to get thrown in this whole anti-cuck world.
I was gonna say I don't know like what everyone's qualms with him are, but like I just know that from the stuff that I've
he's
seen,
addicted to benzos.
Oh yeah, or it used to be. But
he's a carnivore.
Yeah,
he's nothing but meat.
Yeah, nothing but meat. I know.
So do you, right? Just all the cock sucking.
Yeah, all the cock sucking.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say.
Sorry, I'm getting a little goofy.
Yeah, no, you're good, man. This is great.
Can we take one more break and then do like a third part?
Yeah.
You got time for that?
Yeah, you want to do that?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do that. But we're back again. Had to take some pee breaks. Had to take some smoke breaks.
I like to smoke, man.
Yeah.
You needed like a fucking vent or something.
Yeah, like
in
a
here.
carbon filter or something.
Yeah, but I'm sure your landlords would
Yeah.
love that.
Dude, I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to get an email for us smoking right there. Dude, I'm almost like I can like feel it.
What is this, OSU campus?
That's like what
You
I
can't,
feel like.
Dude, what the
yeah,
fuck?
I was gonna say because every once in a while they'll like send an email and they'll be like, just a reminder, there's no smoking of any sort, and then they'll have like all 4 pictures. It'll be like cigarettes, weed, something
Crack,
else.
meth,
The
buttholes,
no,
cock.
they have the vaporizers on there too.
Oh, yeah, well,
Yeah, fuck them.
you love your vapes.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I can't do that, dude. I used to smoke Marlboro Reds. Like, I
Yeah.
can't go from a Marlboro Red to a fucking vaporizer. That just doesn't...
Yeah,
You're a little younger than me,
Yeah.
but like, dude,
I just
smoking cigarettes
started, too.
is smoking. Oh, you didn't even start on cigarettes?
I know. I just
You started on vapes?
because I.
Oh my god, dude.
Well, what
Your
happened was,
penis just got so much smaller
dude,
by
it's
telling me
been,
that.
dude, it's like an inch buff, dude. I'm telling you, my fucking dick is probably the tiniest thing on this planet. It's like this cap, like literally chode, whatever. I don't even know
Cute
how.
little Audi.
Yeah,
Audi button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, I don't even know where the fuck we were talking about. Oh, smoking.
How do you start vaping?
So I was outside with a friend, and he was vaping, and I was like, "Let me hit that," because I was like, "I want to like see what this is all about." I hit it, and I got like high as shit. Like, you know what I mean? It's like it was just
It's the
nicotine.
first cigarette of the day high.
And I was like, "Whoa!" And so now I was like, "Ugh, crazy." Now it's like, well, and I would say now it's like doing nothing. So now I'm like, I want to stop because it's like not doing the same thing. I would say that like right now, because the one that I had before was dead, so I like sat off of it for a few days. But like now that I'm like back on it again, it's like, oh my god, like
so you just like the high. See, I grew
Yeah.
up liking the smoke.
Okay.
Like smoke specifically.
I will say this though, I don't know what it is, but like recently, I don't know if it's because I've started vaping, and like it's just like the nicotine that's in the smoke when like people are breathing it out. But like I've like actually started kind of like liking some of like the cigarette smoke. Like there's some cigarette smoke that like when someone's smoking it, like there are some that I'm like, oh, that one smells.
I mean,
like
yeah,
really
you
good."
were like cheek to cheek with me out there when
Yeah,
I was
I
fucking.
was like, give me a kiss, Logan.
Look at these fucking strings from your dog toy.
Dude,
Kind of on my hand,
Dude.
almost my face. How do I look? Am I
dude,
fine?
you look like a dog toy.
Dude,
Dude.
that is true.
So
I will say, as a drinker, I look pretty good.
yeah, you know what? You do
Not
look pretty
bad.
good. You're like a pretty thin guy. You're not like
I got some
overweight.
whites going, but you know.
Okay. Do you are you like balding at all? You look like you have a whole head of hair.
No. I'm.
How old are you?
I don't think 32.
32.
I think. Yes, 32.
That's so fucking funny. 32. You were like in my day, but you were talking about shit that I didn't
Dude,
even
but
know.
32 and 26 is huge.
It is huge.
Because I set up the internet
Yeah.
at my house. You already had internet by the time
Yeah.
this shit was had the capacity
Yeah.
to fucking operate a computer and let alone a web browser. So like I knew about this. I grew up on this shit. That's how I started playing music, cuz I just grabbed you remember those old stupid pencil mics that came
Oh,
with
yeah.
computers? I would just do that, and audio recorder on Windows back then. You can only record it up to 60 seconds. But if you recorded nothing for 60 seconds and let it hit just stop, you hit record again, you can make a track for a minute or 2 minutes.
Oh.
So I would basically create a tape track in audio recorder and just spend an hour just hitting record. So I'd have an hour worth of tape, and then I would go under the computer desk with my unplugged electric guitar and just play songs and sing and track and just layer shit on top of other shit.
Oh.
And that's how I was a sound engineer for very long. I recorded and produced albums. I worked at Care Bar live sound for 8 years.
What?
Yeah.
Damn.
Dude, yeah. That was my first, other than
You know what? You might actually, no fuck you guys, but like, you might actually be like one of the more interesting guests I've had on here so far.
Yeah, fuck you, other guys.
Yeah,
Which
like
one? That's mine. No.
like everyone's got stories, but like, damn, son, like, it's like you're like you're an undercover like savant.
I've lived a lot, and I'm very I'm very gracious of that.
Yeah,
I've lost a lot too.
Yeah.
With a lot of life comes a lot of loss,
Yep.
and it comes back to this very first thing we were talking about, or existentialism. Like, fucking take life by the cock and suck the fuck out of it, dude. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, being miserable?
Yeah.
Do something about it. And this comes back to comedy too. Have fun. If you're not having fun when you're performing, who the fuck else is gonna want to do? Just enjoy what you're doing with your life, whether it's comedy, fucking writing poetry, or studying philosophy, or in your case, wiping down floors with a mop. Whatever it is that you do, find some joy. And if you don't like what you're doing, change what you're doing. And I'm not gonna say that I'm perfectly set up and I'm 100% happy, or that I am satisfied. No, that's not the point. The point of life is to never be satisfied.
Okay.
The point of life is to just want more and do more. And I don't mean that in a capitalistic...
like a materialistic way.
No, I mean that in a... Want more
Growth.
out of yourself.
Yeah.
Want more out of the people you love. And want them to be more than they already are. You want everyone to be the maximum version that they can. And that's really, I think, kind of lost today.
Dude,
for some reason.
I feel like every time you say something that's super philosophical, your beard gets like
a little wider.
Yeah, a little longer. It's just like, I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now?
With that, I'll open
yeah.
It's in... Dude, I wish it wasn't philosophical to say things like that. I wish that was just the norm. I wish people cared more about enjoying the time they have. But as a server, you see miserable people every day, whether it's your coworkers or the people that you serve,
or myself.
How
just
dude,
like,
but misery. What is the quote? Like, misery is a fucking... Misery's best friend is misery, or something. I'm gonna fuck that all up. But there's something about misery that, like, you feed into yourself. It's cyclical, and all you're hurting is yourself. That's all you're doing with misery. Like, just, I know life sucks. I know we're sad. I know people die. I know that, honestly, we're in a wild place right now when it comes to getting fucking nuked or not, or whatever the fuck it is. Inflation's crazy, right? I know all that. We all do. So fucking be a jester. Be a court jester and just fucking pull up your high stockings and make a joke and kick around and push over the girl looking over the puddle. You know what I mean? Just have some fucking fun.
It's so funny that you say that too, because I literally have been feeling that recently, where it's like, I feel like as if I, like, man, life fucking sucks, but I always think about, like, and I'm sorry for anyone who has ever lost anybody to, like, suicide or anything, but, like, my
brother overdosed on fentanyl.
Was that on purpose, though?
It was self-induced fentanyl, and he went to go naproxene or Narcan himself, basically. That's what they do. They overdose on purpose, and then shoot themselves up with the anti-agent, the thing that gets them back. He went to go do that, apparently fell over, knocked his head, didn't get the anti-agent or whatever the fuck that is, and died.
I'm so sorry, dude.
So, I mean, that is suicide, in my opinion. I mean, he was planning to kill himself, even if it meant planning to bring him back.
Yeah. But, like, the thing that I have always thought is that, like...
Mom, don't listen to this.
One of the things that I've always thought is that, like, dude, even though, like, life fucking sucks, you know, I might find myself crying here and there, but it's like, dude, like, I wouldn't want, like, to not be doing this. You know what I mean?
Tried to kill yourself?
No. But, like, the thing is, I'm also afraid of pain. So I don't think I could ever even do it. Like,
Afraid of pain?
yes. Like, and not, and if,
Ironically, that's a tough way to live.
well, I know.
Because pain is all around us.
Well, I think.
You got to embrace pain.
Yeah, well, I think the thing, for me, it's like, severe pain. Because I think that, like,
Physical pain or
Yes.
emotional pain?
everything, I guess. But, like, because for me, it's like I've
Oh,
dealt.
you don't like being hurt. Oh, you little snowflake. Ah.
Because I feel like I deal with so much pain all the time. It's like to go even farther and to just like end my life. That's like I couldn't even imagine being in that much pain. You know what I mean? And like, you know what I mean? I couldn't even imagine.
I tried to drown myself a couple of times in high school.
Damn.
Unsuccessfully.
We are
obviously
getting deep
because I'm a
today.
fucking pussy. No, I mean I'm open about that.
Yeah.
I think high school, dude. High school now is probably way worse, but high school back then was fucked up. I mean, you experienced it even
Probably,
later than
yeah.
I did. So, I mean, I was a nothing. I was liked by everybody but hated by everybody at the same time. I was part of the cool kid group, but I was an emo nerd. It was a weird combination, and hence the live journal, right? But there were just moments that I would just feel like everybody hated me, and because I was on the internet on AOL Instant Messenger all fucking day, and people. Certain girls not liking me and certain guys I looked up to not responding to me, and I was insecure, and I would just make a bath and suffocate myself, drown myself. Thankfully, that's a really dumb way to try to kill yourself because all you do is wake up. So it didn't work, obviously. But, I tried it a couple of times. And then, honestly, I got addicted to drugs. I was addicted to methamphetamine for a little bit. And I had to tell myself, wake the fuck up. Wake up. Do life. Don't be a pussy. Fucking own up to... If no one likes you, that's fine. Find people that do. Or do something that people like. Or whatever it is. But I quit meth just by my own fucking will.
How long ago?
19. I was 19 years old.
Dude, congratulations. That's huge.
I'm 32 now. I have done meth 4 times since then, and just for party fun reasons. I don't it's just...
yeah.
And I haven't done meth in fucking 8 years or something like that.
Okay.
That was...
That's
back
nuts.
then, it was like a weird thing. But... I just quit meth and I quit trying to kill myself, and I that's when I went to college. That's when I started putting my life back together.
And learning about existentialism.
Well, let me get to how I got kicked out of college.
Oh, you got kicked out.
Oh yeah, you want to put a bow on that
Let's
story?
do it.
Right
Yeah,
there,
let's
dude?
do it.
I signed up for classes for next semester. At that point, Columbus State had switched over to semesters instead of quarters. Signed up for my classes. I go to show up. Day 1, I get to the classroom. It's on my schedule. I have all of that, and I'm not in the class roster that the teacher has. And I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, well, you got to go down to the office to figure this out. I go down. They cut off my funding, which voided all of my grants and loans, which means I owe 100% of everything I took out because I got out of a life science class that was a quarter of a credit shorter than what's required in order to get the grants and loans. So they never emailed me. I looked it up. I went to administrators. They never told me anything. They let me sign up for classes, and I could have fixed that a semester ago. And because of that, I'm now stuck with student loans, an unfinished degree, and I'm not a philosophy teacher.
Dang, how close are you? Just that?
No, I mean, I spent 5 years there. doing everything from creative writing and theater and philosophy and fucking science.
Fuck them, dude. Fuck.
And when people talk about the student loan forgiveness thing that Joe Biden wants to do, what they don't realize is like most people are the people like me that never finished college, and for one reason or another, whether it was bullshit or it wasn't, just never finished, so therefore never got a job in the industry in which they were taking out loans for, and so now we're all just fucked. And even though it's community college, I was down $21,000, and so now they garnish my wages of my tax refund. I never get a tax refund. I haven't since they kicked me out of college.
Whoa.
They take all the money and put it towards the loans, and because the interest keeps going up because they're fucking loans, I'm never getting out of it.
How much do you owe left?
This was 7-8 years ago. I still owe like 17,000, and I've paid like fucking 7,000. Like, it doesn't make any sense because the loans keep going up.
Whoa.
So it's bullshit, and I want to kill myself. And do you have a bathtub I can use?
Yeah, I have a bathtub, and I don't have a fucking toaster. Make it a little easier, but the bathrooms, they're getting smarter though with the bathrooms.
The reason I went with the bathtub for drowning and for suicide attempts is because, well, I've always had there's two different ways I wish I could kill myself. One, I'll just quickly say, is by implosion. And I tried to make this up in 3rd grade. I wrote out a whole diagram about how to create a vacuum and just be like into nothing. If I could just die that way. But that won't happen because there's oxygen in your blood cells and you'll actually explode before you implode. And I want pure implosion. It's impossible. That's one way. Came up with that in 3rd grade. I even gave it to my teacher, and she was just like, "Has your mom seen this?" But the second way, the obvious way to actually know that you're going to die, like I've had a friend who shot himself in the face twice and survived. To know that you're actually going to die if you're going to do suicide, middle of the ocean. Just... You know what I mean? Just off the side of a boat and it's a speedboat that goes away 90 miles away within 60 seconds and you're just done.
Whoa.
And so that drowning
it's kind of like
in the bathtub
poetic.
It's
a little poetic.
If you're going to do it, you know? I actually yelled at my friend about the one that shot himself in the face twice. I yelled at him. I was like, "What are you're a fucking pussy."
Dude, damn.
Sorry.
I
thought we were going to end on something lighter.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, that's nuts. I'm just like I said, I'm just so afraid of pain that I just don't know if I could ever.
But drowning is.
But I also love
right?
life. Yeah, I also love life way too much. Like, as much pain as it brings, it's like such a beautiful, like, type of pain. And I took this like personality test recently. Had a lot of problems on it, but one of the things that it said was that hold on, I gotta say this right because the last time I said it, someone's like, "Eddie, that means that you hate women." And I was like, "Oh no, not that
You're
one."
a misogynist.
Yeah, it's a masochist.
Yeah,
So-
I was gonna say if living life to you is painful and you embrace that, that is masochism.
Yeah, so it's like. Literally, that was like 85% or something, like 60, 70% or something like that. It was like a pretty high number. I actually can look it up right now. It was fucking a lot. It was.
I don't want to be in bed with you, man.
Oh, actually, it's not that high.
You like a lot of choking and stabbing.
It was only 30%. But it's the personality test that I took. It was actually very hilarious because one of the things that it said, because it's got a lot of the crazy ones on there, and it said, oh dear. It said, you either clicked on too many things that don't apply to you, or you have several prominent personality types, which is also okay. Like, they try to like be like, it's like not uncommon.
Also okay.
Yeah, they were like,
oh dear, don't worry.
Yeah.
Like, hold on, there's 2 different messages.
That's
being
what I'm,
sent
dude.
there.
That's what I was
fucked up,
saying, dude.
yeah.
I was like, whoa, but then it's like, but in case it is, like, it's like some people do have prominent personality. And it's like, dude, that's, and it sucks.
Was the first one the highest percentage being a racist? Is that the?
Yeah, it was racist, and then also then homophobic, followed by actually
transphobic,
homophobic,
xenophobic,
or actually being a gay person. So it's racist.
Hold
then
on.
it's homophobic, and then the
then
next
they
percentage.
just call you gay.
Yeah.
They're like, also you're gay.
Yeah. You just haven't figured it out yet. You just need to maybe do a little bit more experimentation.
God, if only my brother would have said that to me back
Dude.
when I was growing up. Man. Just like, hey man, you're gay. Instead of being like, you fucking, F
Yeah,
word.
yeah.
If you had just been like, you're gay, I'd been like, that's so much easier.
Yeah, dude. Dude, well, and that's like one of the things that that makes me wonder. Everyone talks about like the spectrum and everything. It's like the full experience of life, and it's like you don't really know until you try. And it's like, I'm like, do I really want to try something that I don't want to try to see if I like it? You know what I mean? It's like I don't think I'll like it. Would I do something? You know what I mean?
No, apparently you're some sort of hateful person by not experimenting with things you're not comfortable with, which goes against the whole consent thing. And it's an inconsistent argument.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. I mean, I've always considered myself queer. I think queer makes sense because I'm attracted to what I'm attracted to. And that's that's an old fucking... And that's also because I was called queer my entire life. And I was like, well, fuck it. I might as well embrace that shit. But I'm mostly heterosexual, but it doesn't matter. Just call it.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
I don't even honestly want to know what the fuck you are.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
it doesn't bother me unless you're trying to fucking hook up with me, in which case, like, we might have to have a conversation. But, like, other than that,
I just need to know how big it is. But I was gonna say that
we can find out.
I was gonna say that's like one of the things I always think about it like this. I grew up with a lot of sisters and my mom, so it was like I have a very feminine energy. I get sad at things that are sad. I get I have all the fucking women traits.
You're feministic.
Yes, and so it's like,
although those are socially constructed terms. And
but dude,
just say what you mean.
so many people have been like throughout my life been like, dude, are you gay? Are you gay?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is Eddie gay? And I'm like, oh man, this what vibe am I giving off? And I was talking to a gay guy one time. We were like all at a pool, and I was like asking him, I was like, dude, like, help me out here. Like, what is happening? And he's like, dude, by looking at you as a gay guy, I know you're not gay.
You have a slight lisp. You kind of have a little bit of that.
I was gonna bring that up earlier when you said you had a speech impediment.
You're a little bit much. You're kind of an Ashley, I get it.
Yeah, white girl. Like I said, when I get drunk, I'm like.
I honestly thought I was gay for
Really?
3 years of my life, from ages fucking 7 to 10. I thought I was gay because my brother would beat me up every day and call me a faggot and say I was gay.
Oh my god!
To where I legitimately, I was like, at that point, I had no idea about sexuality at all. I was just like,
That's
my
fucked.
dick gets hard, and I don't know why. And like, it didn't matter if it was tits or a cock. It was just, my dick's hard. This is weird. And my brother would just punch it into me. And then because of that, I was convinced that I was gay for 3 years of my fucking youth.
Whoa.
Because I was just like, well, I guess I am. Like, he says I am. He's the authority. He's older.
Did you have boyfriends?
No, I didn't have girlfriends either.
Yeah.
I didn't have any friends, really.
Dang. Wow.
I was just a weirdo. And because I was just being fucking abused all the time and shit.
Damn.
But like that's maybe why I like the queer title, because like maybe I am. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. I don't give a
Exactly.
shit. It's not like I'm gonna fucking punch you in the face if you hit on me.
Yeah.
That's weird.
That's like the one thing that like I've always like been like, it's like, dude, I don't care. Just make sure that like that were respectful. Like, don't be touching me. Don't
Don't do that to anybody.
Yeah,
man
exactly.
or woman.
That, yeah.
Me or someone
exactly.
else. Fuck
exactly.
that. You do not.
And I've
fucking
had
touch
women do that to me, and it's like, and it's because and it's like groups of people.
Be
there.
honest though.
What?
When it's invited.
Well, yeah, when it's invited,
You
yeah.
don't say shit.
Yeah.
It's only when they're an undesirable that you're like
One time,
please no.
One time I was at the Funny Bone, and I had a guest, a middle-aged woman who was like hitting on me, and like during the show, I like went over to like bring them more drinks, and she like grabbed onto me and she started like kissing on me, and I was like, "What is happening?" I was like, "This is not okay." I like
Someone's getting a tip.
but I didn't say anything. I
Just a
like
tip.
let it happen. Like, and I literally kind of felt like I kind of felt in that moment like how like what girls describe, where it's like I kind of just let it happen. I didn't like
Oh yeah.
push her off because I don't want to make a scene.
There's
But-
nothing worse than an aggressive like white fucking
She wasn't white.
privileged woman. Well,
yeah,
she was privileged.
she had a lot of money. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude. But I was just like in that moment, I was like, damn, son, like this is a little weird. But after that, it was like whatever. It's just and then in that moment though, when I felt that way, everybody's like, Eddie, you should like get her number, and like kind of in the same way that you were talking, like I got convinced that maybe this is something that like I'm into, and then like we talked for a day and I stopped talking to her because like this is not something. This is what I was like, and I'm just thinking about it like what would if I were to do that to somebody, that would be No. You're gonna touch our waitress and you're gonna start kissing on her? No, you're in jail. You're in jail now.
I mean, I think there's a lot of nuance there.
Exactly.
I think people should be comfortable and safe enough to make their own decisions about things like that.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's just not a reality.
Yeah.
And so we have to be like, well,
Exactly.
just none of it.
Yeah.
Which sucks because, I mean, how many times do you work with someone? I mean, how many work people relationships happen? Like
A lot.
A lot of them, dude. And to deny that is kind of fucking rude, if not unethical, because they spend most of their time at work.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm dating a comedian, so
Exactly.
You know what?
You're
what-
dating. You're dating your workmate.
I mean, yeah, basically, and we met through comedy, and it's like, thank
let me
God
ask you
there's no HR for fucking.
I guess we can
open
end,
mic comedy.
we'll end on this like small little bit. Like you don't obviously don't go into detail or anything, but it's like, what would you say?
3.5 inches.
Nice. Nice. That's a dude. That's
Solid number, yeah.
Dude, fuck yeah. What would you say your experience is dating a comedian? Like, have you dated a comedian before?
No. I did hook up with one other comedian when I first started.
Okay.
But we never dated. And it's a weird question. No one's ever really asked me that.
Has it like when
I mean,
you
dating a comedian is fucking dope because she understands when I'm going out at night, and I'm not just going out to a bar. I've done comedy with another girlfriend, and
there's a lot of trust issues.
and they're like, "Why are you just going to the bar every night?" It's like, no, I know I'm going to the bar every night. That is true, but I'm not going just to drink.
Yeah.
I am drinking.
Yeah.
Mind you. But that's not the reason I'm there. You know what I mean?
There's a lot
Like,
of factors going on.
I'm just saying I'm not just going out to the bar every night. I'm
Yeah.
going out to do comedy every night.
Okay.
And I don't have to explain any of that to
Yeah.
Amanda at all.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I was gonna say because I've always wondered because I know that like for me, I can't really say that I've really dated. I guess I kind of was like hooking up with a girl that I was in a musical with, and we were like it was a little bit more than just hooking up. We were like going out and stuff like that, like on dates, but we weren't like boyfriend and girlfriend. But I will say that it like kind of made the work environment a little weird, like towards like the end when she was like, or like when we were breaking it off, there was a lot of awkward energy, like push and pull, like today we're not a thing, but then the next day it's like, oh hey, how you been, like it's like
What was the final demise? Like what?
she just ended up breaking it off. I mean, it was one of those things that she was like, this is not probably gonna last forever, and I was like, okay, that sucks, but like I guess like if
It
you're
was
down,
it was a work thing. See, the thing
Yeah.
about Amanda and I is like we live together.
Yep.
You know, we
It's a
moved in together.
relationship. It's
We
not- yeah.
we have a cat together. Stupid one-eyed Bonnie.
little family.
I know.
Logan. Oh
It's
my
horrible,
God.
but like she's also very understanding of who I am, and that to me is one of the hardest things to find in a partner.
Yeah, dude.
Is like not giving me shit for doing what I love, which is going out and performing comedy.
Does she ever
as
give you
much
shit
as
for
I
the
can.
things that you say?
100, dude. No one likes the things. I say.
Same.
Like here's the thing, I will make people laugh and smile and think and all that, but I will do all the opposite things too.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about writing. It's like no one swings fucking grand slams 100% of the time.
Yeah.
It just doesn't, it's not reality. You know what I mean? So she hates me as much as everybody else does. But the thing is she chooses to love me more than anybody else, and that's the real difference. And that's something that's hard to find in a partner.
All right. Well, that's where we'll end that conversation. Logan, is there a place that we can find you and we can do all this great stuff?
Some plugs.
Yeah, dude.
When was this gonna be released?
Probably this week. Probably Thursday.
Today's Thursday.
Next week. I mean,
Next
Thursday.
week, so my taping will already have happened. I guess just Instagram Bad Joke Logan.
Any websites or anything?
That's my handle. No, I have honestly nothing. I'm doing a taping on Sunday, and that's gonna have to start my shit. So, as far as internet presence, I'm really bad at it.
Just the
I don't care. Bad Joke Logan on Instagram is the one thing that I care about.
hell yeah, guys! You guys remember, you guys can always support the podcast through Anchor with the listener support system. You guys follow us on Instagram, all that good shit. Logan, fucking love you, bro. Thank you for the fucking interesting conversation. Philosopher, comedian. I didn't even. Damn.
Cock and balls.
There it is. All right, bro. I love you. Thank you for doing this.
Love you too. Thanks for having me.